Hey, everybody, Dave and Jeff. It is February 2nd, 2022.
Dave, I tell you what, you and I have been lucky enough doing this for 23 years to see some pretty cool things in sports, but I think you and I would agree, and all of San Diego would agree, what we've watched the last couple of weeks with the LA Rams as they make their way back to the Super Bowl has been incredibly exciting. But for a lot of us in San Diego, what makes it even more exciting is the return of a guy that was beloved in this town, is now playing for the LA Rams and going to the Super Bowl after being retired for 2 years. What a pleasure it is to have our friend Eric Weddle back with us. Eric, 5 weeks ago, what did a Wednesday night look like for you?
Geez, literally it was 3 weeks ago. Wednesday night would be dropping. I mean, I just talked to my wife about a half an hour ago, and she was just picking up our third from Acro. She goes Acro 4:30 to 7:30 4 times a week, and then my daughter does volleyball and plays on 2 different basketball teams. So she's every night has something. My son's playing travel basketball. Camry's playing soccer, and literally every night is the Weddle taxi service. We are both dropping off, picking up, then re-dropping off, picking up, and that would be what our nights consist of 3.5 weeks ago. Just being parents, team happy as can be, and now fast forward, my life has been flipped upside down and getting ready for the Super Bowl. It's been a wild 3 weeks.
It has been a wild 3 weeks. I mean, in just the history, when this is like movie stuff. I was telling Jeff, first of all, when you signed, I called Jeff and I said, man, I've never been more excited in my life than what's happening right now. Like, it just doesn't seem to make any sense. And then when I watched the video that they put together of you, the 5 minutes beating the Niners and you talking, and then your family finally running out on the field at the end when we realized you were going to the Super Bowl. Dude, the last minute of that video, I cried. It's the first time I've ever cried. And I was like, what the hell? My dog was even looking at me, but I can't tell you how happy I am for you. I don't think I've been more happy for another human being to see something great happen to a good guy. You have to pinch yourself to actually see this dream that here you are. You come out of nowhere and you're in the Super Bowl.
Man, it's pretty surreal. There's so much to dive into. I mean, I don't even know where to begin, but honestly, over the last 3 weeks, I've never felt the love and support and just everyone being behind me and being with me, man. I feel the energy. I feel just the belief and just the excitement from everyone that has had a hand in my career. And everyone that has supported me and been behind me, the ups and downs, the tough plays, the tough losses, the big wins, the transition to other teams, and the people that really have had my back, man, I truly feel it. And it has really helped me over the last 3 weeks to just give everything I have for this second chance, right? Like, nobody gets a second chance like this.
No.
And not in pro football, not being retired 2 years away from the game, had a great career, went out on my own terms. And this is just that doesn't happen. And going through all the thinking and going over analyzing whether or not to take this chance, I just felt in my core that this is meant to be for me to be a part of this run, to be a part of this team in some way, shape, or fashion, that it's meant to be. My 15 years, right, from since the day I was drafted in San Diego, everything that has happened up until this point has led me to this team in this situation that they needed me. And I was ready for the op. No, in no way did I ever think I would be playing or stepping foot on a football field in the NFL ever again in my life. I mean, I was happy. I was content. I was enjoying life. I was fully engaged in the next step of my life. And when a call comes from the D coordinator with a crazy idea, it takes you makes you take a step back for a second. And when your wife says, "Babe, if anyone can do it, you can do it," how do you not take that chance?
Yeah.
How do you not go for it and live with what happens? Listen, I'm living. I'm playing with house money, man. And there's no pressure on me. There's nothing. Everyone expected this to flop, and I've exceeded that, which I knew I would, because I love challenges. I love proving people wrong. The 99% of the world thought this would never work, and look at where we're at. And man, I'm just living it up. This opportunity, these men, the opportunity of a lifetime to have a chance at something that I would do so much for and never had the chance to, that now has come full circle. And in 10, 11 days, be starting in the Super Bowl is just an insane concept to really grasp.
It's so great. And I think, Eric, the thing that you just said that's going to connect with so many people is that you weren't bitter. You weren't sitting there mad. You were loving where your life was, which makes you enjoy this moment so much more. And I was telling you, I had gotten tickets. My 14-year-old son, Cade, who plays safety at Helix, had never been to an NFL game, and he loves the Rams. And I said, hey, I'm going to take you to this playoff game. And I get tickets, and all of a sudden you're signed. And I remember a handful of years ago when I brought Dan Henderson down, and we had the chance to talk with Dan. And the way I felt, Eric, in SoFi that night, I've watched you play 1,000 games. Dave and I would just chat. You'd be out there. You'd be making plays, do whatever, and everything was cool. It brought back that same energy of being at Dan's fight against Fedor or Dan against Shogun, where I'm on the edge of my seat. My son and I are freaking out. He's a Rams fan in general. I'm watching number 20, and it was just such a blast. And then Dave alluded to this video. And you know, Eric, the thing that I took away from that video, and I don't know how much you've watched it, but the thing that I loved is when the refs are coming and saying, hey, old man, what are you doing back here? And when Andrew picks you up at the end of it, and Dave said it, Eric, it's like a movie right now. And for everybody that has enjoyed your career, what's going to happen in 10 days, it's insane. Hey, how much did you expect to play that first game against Arizona? What'd you think you were going to do? What'd you think your role was going to be?
Well, yeah, when Raheem called me, I had just got done meeting with the athletic director of the local high school where I live about maybe potentially taking over the football program in the coming years. And came out of that meeting, it was so incredible. I was on a high from it, just super pumped about having the opportunity to maybe coach Gage in high school. I coached him last year. I was the head coach of his 12U team, and such a cool experience for me, finally being able to give back and be there for my son when he's had to be second fiddle, because I was still playing and had to focus on me. And now having the roles reversed, it was so much fun. So I came out of that meeting, and then I look at my phone and I see Raheem called me. Raheem Morris is the D coordinator, and I thought, man, that's odd. I haven't talked to Raheem in a few months, and me and Raheem go way back. He coached me in the Senior Bowl when I was coming out of college before the draft, and he was on staff at the Bucks at the time.
Oh wow!
He loved me. We hit it off during that week of practices, and we always envisioned us connecting in the league, and obviously it didn't happen. But we always had that connection way back when. And I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, I don't really know much about the Cardinals. I played them 2 games, and my first initial thought was that he was going to ask like scouting stuff for the Cardinals. And so I call him out of that meeting Tuesday, and we're just chopping it up for a few minutes. And he says, Eric, you're not fat and out of shape, are you? and I said, of course not. Like, that's not me. Once you're in the game for a long time, it becomes who you are in the sense of a lot of things. And working out, I didn't continue working out because I wanted to play football. I worked out because it made me feel better mentally and physically, and made me a more patient person around my kids and my wife. So as soon as he said that, I kind of had an inclination of what was coming in. I had no idea what the situation was going on with the Rams, other than I knew Fuller got hurt. I didn't know he was going to be done, and I had no idea Rapp was out with a concussion, like out. So literally, they were going to be starting two young guys and had no depth behind them. So they were like, "Hey, we had this crazy idea. We've been talking about it for a while, and we just wanted to call you and see if you'd think about it." And he said, "Would you think you could give us 10 to 15 snaps Monday night?" And I said, "Are you guys crazy?" I said, in the back of my mind, I'm like, am I really the best option you guys have right now? Like, that was my thought. Like, you could have anybody in the world, and they came to me, and they were in need. So, long story short, I talked to Coach Evero, who's our secondary coach, and then I reached out to some players, and I finally circled back to Sean about probably a good 3 hours later. Obviously, I called Chanel right after I got off the phone with Raheem, and honestly, it was just an opportunity you can't pass up. And the role was being that play on dime, play third down, ease you into it. Well, first, let's see if you can even run and practice Friday and Saturday, right? I had to go out. They put me on practice squad for a reason, because they were going to save me the embarrassment of putting me out there if I couldn't play, which was smart on both ends. And I didn't want to do that to the team, obviously. So going out there Friday and Saturday and running around and doing things that I had done my whole career. And it was funny. Guys were saying, "Man, hey, it looks like Eric's been here this whole season the way he's playing and making checks and doing the things that I've always done." And so that was the plan. And then gradually get more playing time as I got adjusted. And as long as the big thing was if my body could handle it, I could play as much as I wanted to, knowing that if I'm playing the way we all expect to play, that I'm the best option. And, you went 19 plays Arizona, I come back to Tampa, play 61,
wow.
And then NFC Championship starting and played the whole game. And it's just been a crazy, crazy ride. Like, never, I've always prided myself on being the hardest worker. I do the most, I prepare the most, but never have I worked harder in my life in these last 3 weeks to do everything I could to make this dream a reality, whether it's been eating, whether it's been the treatment, the rehab, working out twice a day, not cheating on anything, studying a new playbook. I had never been in the system, new verbiage. And by the second day, I had it all down. Like, it was, out of everything that's been transpired, I just think that the commitment, the dedication, and really the mindset, the mind is powerful. And being able to do what I'm doing currently and what I've done so far is I don't know if it'll ever be done. Quite honestly, it's crazy. I love challenges and I love proving people wrong. And to be where we're at on the cusp of a Super Bowl, I could not be more humbled and grateful for this second chance of a dream. And I'm just trying to make the most of it.
Yeah, we will never see this again. I mean,
Never.
this is, Jeff and I 20 years ago interviewed a guy named Jim Morse, who was the pitcher in the movie The Rookie. Dennis Quaid played him. And I remember telling Jeff, there's this story about this guy, and we put him on there, and we had it before the movie came out, and he was a dick. He was a jerk. Like, you didn't even root for him. And I'm like, God, what a disappointment. And then we know you, and we know you're a great guy, and we talk about you on the show all the time, even when you weren't back with the Rams. But you watch this and you go, number one, you play a position in safety where how many safeties get like a farewell tour? They don't. And then you see Tom Brady play his last game, and you and him having that conversation on the field for a long time. And that showed the respect Tom Brady had for you. And, all of us obviously in San Diego and Southern California want people to appreciate how great you were. But when you're there, and you skipped over the part, by the way, that not only did you play every play, you led the team in tackles. Yeah. That was pretty damn impressive. I know you aren't the kind of guy to say that, but we'll say it for you. But when you're there and you're sitting there telling everyone, hey, we're going to the Super Bowl, and you're calling out defensive plays and what's coming, and you guys are on the field with, it's it's Jalen Ramsey, it's Von Miller, it's Aaron Donald, all these Hall of Famers, and you've played with the talented guys, but this is a freak show. I mean, it's a superstar show.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Like when I walked in the door that first day or two, and to see the smiles and the excitement and just the energy levels from everyone in the building, from staff to the sports science to the trainers to the equipment, everyone that I had a relationship with just was on cloud nine, and maybe that was one of the many reasons that I meant to be here, to bring them out of that tough Niner game, right? To bring some juice to the building, to get our minds focused on Arizona, right? And then I see Vaughn, and I hug up Vaughn, and Vaughn goes, "Man, where are we at? We at the Pro Bowl, baby. We're at the Pro Bowl. Look at all these guys." I mean, you look at the team, and we were all at Pro Bowls together, and now we're here all together on one team playing. I mean, this is, you just can't fathom all the things happening. They pick up Vaughn, they get Odell, the injuries that happened at the end of the year, the last week, to be able to sign and bring me back, to have the idea to bring me back, right? To play with, maybe go down as one of the best, if not the best defensive player ever in AD. Understanding that this may be his best chance to get a Super Bowl, right? Trading for Stafford and the craziness that happened in Cabo that weekend to get the deal done. Like, it's just, there's so many layers with this team that I'm just a little niche in the bottom corner of this book that we're trying to, that one day this story will be told, hopefully by winning it all. But it's just an amazing group of men that have put their selfish desires aside for the ultimate dream of winning a Super Bowl together with this group. I mean,
at SoFi,
insane. At SoFi, at home, we're able to stay at our facility all week, stay away from distractions, can stay in our routine, not have to be at a hotel, not have all our equipment, all this other crap. Like, it's we got to go do it though. This is an incredible team that we're facing. But it's on us, man. We keep that same energy, that focus, the physicality we played with against the Niners, the determination, the no quit, the no phase attitude, the belief in one another, man. It was, we have that going into the Super Bowl, and we carry it for 4 quarters. I really like our chance.
Hey, when you need us to shut up, just tell us. But I got a couple other things for you. Jim Trotter called me. Jim Trotter called me yesterday, and he said, "Hey, do you have a good Weddle story?" I'm writing an Eric Weddle story for NFL.com, and I told a couple, but I said, from a professional standpoint, the one that always made me laugh is Dave and I were out at Chargers Park, and we were doing the show. It was Jason Verrett's rookie year, and we had Rivers up on the balcony, and I wonder if you remember this. I said to Rivers, I said, "Quick question for you. Would you rather throw 3 interceptions to Verrett or 1 to Weddle?" And he couldn't say Verrett fast enough. And he said,
Of course.
He said, "Shoot, I don't want to listen. I hear enough out of Weddle. I don't need to hear any more out of him." But Eric, when this thing was going on, and knowing the friendship that you guys have had for so long, I can't imagine how wound up 17 is, how many dadgummits he got out. How much have you talked with him over the last couple of weeks?
I have. He texted me as soon as it was announced, and he's just like, You are the craziest son of a gun this world's ever known." And I'm like, I know. What am I thinking, right? And then after the first game, each week we've been texting back and forth, and he just can't believe it. I mean, he got the people that know how crazy this is,
right?
And he is just like, "Dude, you look as good as you've ever played." I mean, and what people don't realize, and I'm not saying, how do I put this? Like, I don't disregard or take for granted how hard it is to play in this league, and I don't suppress how hard it is to get your body ready for a season, right? And I'll give you guys some insight after this last game against the NFC Championship game, and I was in a lot of tackles and a lot of big hits, and I will tell you guys this: from Sunday night to Monday night, I slept a total of 5 hours.
Wow.
I was in so much pain. I was in such a bad place, guys, that I don't know. I 100% know this is why I retired, right? I couldn't deal with that. I couldn't deal with the mental side of it, the pain, understanding what I had to do the next day to just try to get back to somewhat of a feeling of that I'm not gonna die. I mean, literally, I had never been in so much pain in my life from that game because I have not been training for a year to take on those hits, guys. I was not in a good place, and thankfully, Tuesday I turned the corner and started feeling a little bit better, and then today I'm feeling a lot better. And and so the reason I bring that up is to remind people that these guys are football professionals for a reason. And so to do what I'm doing is crazy, but also for a good point for the last 2 days, I didn't know if I was going to come out of it, quite honestly.
Wow.
So, it was a tough couple nights, to not be able to sleep, to not be able to move, that's just the way life is, right? But not being able to prepare your body is what makes you be able to get through an entire season. And that was the harsh reality that hit home real quick, that I was retired for the right reasons, right? Because there's no way I could do this again for an entire season. I just couldn't do it. Now, could I muster it up, which I'm doing right now, and treatment 24/7 and getting my workouts in and getting that full body and getting that blood flow and rehabbing so I can get ready for Sunday night for the Super Bowl? Of course I can, because I know win or lose, I'm coming back. I'm not playing another down. I'm living this up, this second chance, to the very best I can, giving everything I can to my guys. I had to reach the ultimate goal. And whether or not we win, this has been the most incredible run that I could have ever asked for. And dreams hopefully come true, but this has been a dream come true anyway. And you just can't. I'm not going to sit here and say win or lose will determine that. No, man, I'm having the time of my life, helping this team out, and knowing that when it's done, and I'm totally fine with that.
I tell you, there are so many stories, as you said, when this is done. For me, just as a fan, number one, I'm glad that you shared what the NFL is like. Jeff and I always go down last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, and we're on the sideline. And the perspective people get from the stands, I don't care how close you sit or what you watch on TV, you have no idea until you're on the field and you've seen the speed and the force of those collisions. Yeah. It looks like people tackling cars on the 5 freeway. Mm-hmm. It is insane. And then to see you guys do it every 30 seconds is absolutely amazing. Just unbelievable. Two quick things for me, just personal stuff, and then I'll move on. And by the way, besides you and Whitworth, who of course the Bengals after 11 years said we aren't going to pay you.
I know. How do you draw that up? Like, he plays for the Bengals for 11 years, has an amazing run. They go to the playoffs 6 different seasons, don't win a playoff game, and now 5 years after that, in his 16th season, he gets to play the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, and what could be his last game? I mean, how insane is that? And so. And I know they're Detroit fans rooting for Stafford and Aaron Donald, maybe the best defensive player in the NFL since he's been in the league, and finally a chance there. So many different stories. Jalen Ramsey.
Yep.
Just so many crazy stories. But on a personal note, there's 2 things I wanted to share. One is Jeff and I were talking about this 2 weeks ago, and a couple of years ago I lost my son, and you were aware that my son passed away. And when the Ravens came back to face the Chargers, there were so many media guys in there in the locker room waiting to talk to you. What was it like facing the Chargers? And you stopped everything. You gave me that hug. I needed it. It was my first game back at broadcasting. I was completely down. And you've just always been that guy. You've been a great guy. And the other part is, for me, I was introduced to football by my dad, who passed away the same year, and he introduced me as a Rams fan. And the Rams always lost in the NFC Championship games to Jeff's Vikings or the Dallas Cowboys. And my dad would stand up and do the slow clap, of disappointment in the living room, drove me nuts. And I'd say, why did you sick me with this crappy team? And you go, Here are the Rams, the first original sports team in LA history. Forget about what the Dodgers and the Lakers and everything that has happened. They were the first team, yet they've never won a championship in Los Angeles in a Super Bowl. And how important this is for Rams fans in general that have loved this team and had their hearts broken when they moved away, and now that they're back. Just an incredible opportunity to play this game in LA, and with all the storylines, it's a storybook ending.
Man, you couldn't have said it better, man. I remember that after our game vividly, seeing you and knowing the struggles, and nobody can understand what you went through, and you could only hope that nobody has to bear that burden, as we all have kids, and then you just, admire your toughness and your admiration and love, and, being there, and just, there's bigger things in sports, bro. There's bigger things, life, relationships, what you stand for, your character, how you treat people. And at times we get lost in what this world is really about. And that's caring for others and being a good person. And, as we move forward, and after the Buccaneers game, I mean, that was such an emotional high of winning that game, but my first thought was, gosh, here's my chance. I want to go tell Tom how much he meant to me.
That's awesome.
In my career, and let him know that his greatness, his strive for greatness every day, every season, not letting complacency slip in at any moment, helped me in my career, helped me progress to where I wanted to become. And to be in that moment, I wanted to let him know how much I admired him and respected him and loved him and what he did for the game. I mean, he's one of one. And, it's hard to take a step back in the moment, in the big picture, but sometimes it's needed in life. I can tell you that.
Well, we'll leave you with this, because, you go out there on the sports, and I love that story you shared, Eric, about, I don't love it in the sense that you went through the pain, but I think it reminds people that while you made it look incredibly easy, it's anything but that. But last night, as I was driving down, I got a phone call, and I've told this story a lot. When I moved to San Diego in 1981, I met a kid named Shane Marin. We were 13 years old, and he was my best friend for 35 years. And whether I was working in radio or I could be managing a paint store, or any other job, he told me every day, just be great, man. Be at the level you're going to be, and you'll always do well. And in 2016, he developed stomach cancer. He developed it on March 1st, and he passed away on May 1st. And Shane had at that time, a 15-year-old son named Dakota. Dakota lived in New York with his family. That's where Shane had gone. But he was raised a Charger fan because his dad absolutely loved the Chargers. And we were at a lunch 2 days after Shane had passed away. And it's about 15 adults at this table, and I'm at the middle, and I look across, and over to my right is this 15-year-old kid that I've just met, but meant everything, as any dad and son understands, meant everything in the world to his father, and he's sitting there wearing his pain like a blanket. And I didn't know what to do. He's not involved in the conversation. It's all adults. He's getting ready to fly home. And I just texted Eric. And I said, hey, man, I don't know what's going on. My best friend just died. I'm sitting here with his son. And do you have 2 minutes? And Eric, I swear, man, I tell people, I think it was 90 seconds my phone buzzed. And you were like, let's go. What's his name? And I said, Dakota. And my phone rang. And I said, yeah, hang on. And I yelled over to the right. I said, hey, Dakota, phone's for you. Now, all the other adults stopped talking. And Dakota snaps out of the fog that he's in. And he's like, what? I said, hey, man, the phone's for you. You got to take this. And he comes around. He's just a 15-year-old kid. He's just little. And he swings around behind me, and he grabs the phone, and he says, hello? And he goes, yeah, this is Dakota. And then the next thing I hear is, no way. And Eric, I looked at my watch. It was 2:15, and he went over to another side. I've never asked him what was said. I've never asked you what was said. But when he came back, it was 2:23. It was an 8-minute conversation. And the only thing, like I told you at that time, was, look, it's never going to bring his dad back, but maybe we can send him on the plane with something else to talk about or something else to think about. That's the guy you are. That's what I told Jim Trotter. And last night when my phone rings, and he's now 22 years old, and he's graduating college in the spring, and he says, hey, man, how about Weddle? Because you're his friend, bud. You're his friend.
Yeah.
And that's, you know what, Eric?
My gosh.
Everything you do, right? It's remember, man, there's a 22-year-old kid in New York that doesn't worry about anything else, just remembers it's you who you are, man. It's such a tribute to you. It's such a tribute to your family. We're not going to take up any more of your time. You just know, man, your family to us, we could not be more excited. When this is over, we'd love to have you come down one night. We can hang out and tell stories, but we don't want to do that tonight, man. You're the greatest, brother. We love you.
I love you guys. Thanks for sharing those stories, man. It's as you guys know, I hit my head for a living, so I tend to forget things. And I do now remember that. If you would have asked me before, I probably couldn't have told you that. But man, thank you for sharing that, because those things get lost over the years, and it's cool to know that you're trying to make a difference. Sometimes it's hard, but when you have a chance to put a smile on someone's face, or sign something, or take a picture, or give someone a hug, there's no reason why you should not do it.
Yeah, you're going to
always do that and be there for people. And it's not always easy, but it's worth it. It's worth it to see the smiles and the love and to pick someone up when they're down. I mean, that's what life's all about.
Yeah, there's going to be a whole lot of people wearing number 20 jerseys, and there's going to be a whole lot of people cheering for number 20, not just that diehard Rams fan base, but a lot of people that know, Eric, who you are as a football player, what you've done the last couple of weeks, and what we're excited to see you do in the next couple of days. Hey, buddy, stay safe out there. Like I said, your family to us, your brother to us, and we're just loving this ride, man. Taking every moment, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Love it, guys. Love you guys.
Love you too, brother.
Time, and we'll get together soon, hopefully celebrating this win, babe.
Tell Kevin O'Connell as a Viking fan, we're thrilled. I'm sorry to steal him from the Rams, but
he's going to be a great hire, man. If it goes through, I don't want to jump the gun.
I got you.
Dude's awesome. He's a leader of men. He is charismatic. He's smart. He'll work great with the players. So pumped for him, especially a San Diego guy. Like, man,
it's from my high school.
Yeah.
Yes.
So cool.
Soak it in, brother. Love you. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
I will.
Later, buddy.
Thanks again, guys.
Take care.
Talking to you.